Hey guys, and welcome to the next training in our series. This training we're going to be covering a lot about awareness and how to elevate someone's awareness towards our product, which is chiropractic. Right? So the way I view this is that the normal way in which we attain people is via some sort of offer or getting ourselves out there. Now, at any stage, there is a small percentage of people that are within our reach that we can just grab onto, and they can come into our practice as new clients. And this is where offers, really work well. There is a small percentage of around 5 to 10 or even sometimes 20% of people that are ready to take up chiropractic, and they're at that point in their life where chiropractic is going to be helping them. So if you imagine a tree when you're a kid, I remember going to try and grab the apples from my grandparents' apple tree, and what I'd have to do is pull the branch down and grab the apple. But for anything that was out of my reach, which was the majority of the tree, what do we do about that? So this is where, if we envision ourselves, we have to have different levels of where we want to take people and elevating their awareness towards what we're doing. So one way of doing that is an offer that gets people in the door, but how else do we increase people's awareness and really get them to flowing in the door towards us? And this is all boils down to how much we create and how many attention units we have to create an awareness in our community. So in our next video, I'm going to be covering what offers work. We're going to go through offers, and then we're going to talk more about how we can keep doing this and keep drawing more and more awareness towards what it is that we're actually doing. So if you imagine yourself sitting at the bottom of the tree, what we want to be doing is to have the ladder to climb up to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level, to really get to all of the fruit or all of the people in our area. Okay, and that happens via a process of awareness, which is what I'm going to be teaching you guys within this course. So if you imagine, this is a picture of crude oil. So the crude oil is the majority of the people. It's getting pumped in to this, it's getting heated up, and it's getting pumped into this refinery. And what we want to do with that crude oil is elevate and increase its awareness towards what it is that we're doing. So at any stage, there is some gas in this cylinder, and that's the people who are ready. That's the people up the top that you can see that are already ready to take up, what it is that we're offering. So that's where we put offers. Then below that are the people who have opted in, but they're not really ready yet. So that's to do with how we follow them up, right? So are we following them up with different videos and helping them to understand more about what it is that we do as chiropractors, more about what it is that we do in our practice as chiropractors as well. And then one below that is people who are just not really ready yet, and people who just, have no idea of who we are, right? So this is where, once we have an offer out there, it's capturing the people right at the top. And then what we want to do is make sure that we're following these people up really well and warming them up really well to ensure that they do come in. And these are the new patients up here. And down here, we want to make sure that we have some sort of awareness videos or different things that we're doing, like workshops, different things that are free, whatever, to increase the awareness of our product or ourselves as chiropractors in the community. And I'm going to be showing you how we go about doing that in a sec. So what are we looking for here? We're basically looking for communication. Now, the first and basic foundation of any business or anything in life is communication. If you think about it, from when you're a little baby, what's the first thing that we want these babies to do? Is communicate. And it's in the same thing happens when we're a baby as a business, or at any stage as a business. What happens as people get older, they stop being able to communicate. They may get dementia and forget things, or they may have something that's happened that stopped them from wanting to communicate with certain people, or has broken them away from certain people, and that's enabled them to not live as good a quality of life, right? So we want to increase communication in our business. So how do we do that? Well, we don't use methods that didn't work in the past. So things like letter drops that used to work really well as communication in the past, people just throw that stuff out. If you think about what you do you answer the phone at night time to people who are calling? No. Do you read many of these letters that come in the mail? Not necessarily. Even some SMSs will just go, oh yeah, whatever. We do read them, but then we're not in that communicative space to be looking at those things at that exact time. So where is it that we need to be to make sure that people are getting our message? Well, we've got to find out where people are at. So where people are. So in different communities, it does vary, okay? But the large majority of people in the Western world are on Facebook right now. So that's exactly where we need to be. The majority of people are wasting their time sitting on Facebook or daydreaming on Facebook. Now, what happens when you're daydreaming and procrastinating? What are you looking for? You're looking for answers to solve some of your problems, right? So what we need to do is we need to know exactly and ask our people, you know, what is it that that's troubling them? Is it stress? Is it weight loss? You know, what are these types of issues or health problems that they're actually having that's restricting them from getting to perceived goals, or, you know, right now New Year's resolutions or things like that. Okay, so we need to understand this communication formula. So the first step is find out where people are at, which we know is now Facebook, right? And then, well, at this stage, right? And we find out what their health problems are. So what are their biggest concerns, right? And then we position ourselves as the guide to solve their problems. So it may be that you have 100 people in your practice and 50 people come back with they want weight loss. Well, guess what the next workshop's going to be? It's not about just creating a workshop or creating videos on things that people don't want to hear about, like different exercises for shoulder problems. Well, what if no one in your area has a shoulder problem? That was just a waste of time. Or headaches. People don't really want to know about the headaches or what to do. They want to know how to stop them from happening in the future, maybe. There's different things that people have real concerns about. You know, but what I see is one of the major issues, and what most people come back in a lot of the practices we work with, is a lot to do with stress and weight loss. And then some of them, if they're really into sport, might be minimizing injuries and things like that. So those are the types of areas. But again, you need to survey your people. You need to understand exactly what's going on, and then, you know, become a guide and solve their problems through awareness videos and through different workshops that you might be doing in your practice. Things like that are definitely going to help to increase gaining more from that tree. Okay, now I'm going to be showing you how to create a normal offer. Now I'm going to be showing you in the next, in the not too distant future, how to create awareness videos and how to put these things together to ensure that you can get all of the apples. So you have to have a way to do something about it. So once you've given them a workshop, you need to have little steps and actions for them to take to ensure that they can get some sort of result. Now, you don't want to be charging for any of this stuff. You just want to be putting it out there and letting them get a little taste. I remember being told a story about one of the most successful restaurant chains in South America. And what they'd do is they'd start a new restaurant and they'd, over the weekend, they'd have free dinners for people. So what they'd done beforehand is find out what people really like, and they happened to be, you know, ribs and steak or something like that. And what they did was on the night they'd have a couple of different options. They knew how much it was going to cost them. And so they didn't go over budget too much, but they put that in and they knew that that was their marketing expense to start with. And what they did, why they did that, is because the word of mouth afterwards tended to make sure that their business exploded from there and kept exploding from there. So what would happen is people would come in, enjoy their meal. They had a free meal. They told everyone about how not only it was a free meal, but it was so good. And then they got their next meal for 50% off. It's amazing. You should just go and check it out. You know, they're giving me this coupon for 50% off. Here, take it. And that just then built their restaurants up. So then made me think about, you know, when we walk into like a Coles or a supermarket here in Australia, and a lot of the time they'll have people giving out free samples for things. And there's been times where I've taken that and then bought. Why? Because the free sample, it actually tasted good. I'd never thought of buying this protein water or whatever it is, but it tasted good, so why not? I bought it. So that's the key, is that we need to get out there and understand, help people to understand what it is that we're doing, and we need to have some free entry points, low friction entry points, right? So it needs to be something that's free, like a workshop or workshops that we're doing, or like free screenings, different events that we do, or some free webinars online, which really work really well now. So creating some short little videos, helping people to understand things about their problems and helping them to solve them, getting them to do the work and getting them the result. And at the end of that, they have an opportunity to come into the practice to also get adjusted, because you've also along the way educated them on the importance of getting adjusted as well. So the reason why I'm doing this is because most people's mindset within chiropractic is still stuck behind this Berlin Wall effect, which is what I call it. We're so stuck on looking at other professions or looking at the medical profession, looking at, specialists and things like that and what they do, that we're not realizing that we are still only seeing 5 to 10% of the population. So we're just not there yet. Why is that? Well, because we haven't been good enough at getting the message out there at a free entry point or a low barrier entry point. So we've built up this Berlin Wall, right? As you can see over here, we've built up this Berlin Wall. It stops people from even just getting into our practice or having some sort of experience. Now, once they come into the practice, what we do know from stats is that everyone who leaves or everyone who has an experience with a chiropractor, something like 90%, 95% of people are really, really happy with the results they get. So it's just that we need to make sure that we're getting enough people in the door in the first place. And that's all about elevating your awareness towards your product in your community. So first, creating offers that are a cheaper offer to make sure that people can come in and they can afford to come in no matter what stage they're at. But also, even if they're really wealthy people or you're in a wealthy area, wealthy people like offers too. Everyone likes an offer. Everyone likes to feel special. So make them feel special with some sort of offer. And then start thinking about some free webinars or free, workshops that you can start putting together by surveying your people in your practice and asking them what it is that they really want to hear about. So what are your biggest concerns or health concerns that you have? If we were to run a workshop or some sort of event, would you come along? If we were, what day would you like it on? What time? So get everything from them. And then do you know anyone else that you could write down their name that may be interested in a workshop like this? Because we're going to be putting together some of these free workshops. So something like that, along the lines of that, put that survey together and start asking some people in your area, start asking some people in your practice, and start building up some information so that later when we start to run these awareness videos and webinars that I show you, you're going to have an idea of what subjects that people in your practice and your area really want to hear about. So I hope that makes sense, guys. In the next videos, we're going to be covering how to create an offer. So the next video is definitely going to cover how to pick pictures and what sort of videos to use, all that type of stuff. And then we're going to dive into actually, the physical stuff and the practical stuff of how do we actually do this. So I'm going to send you some questions on what we've just covered here. And then we're going to dive straight in and it's going to become pretty intense. We're going to do every second day more than likely of the practical stuff. And we really want to get ads happening within the next week or so.